How dare you? How dare you? Come on, bro. Look. It is 4:16 in the morning here. I just got in from a night out. It's my roommate's birthday. Not too plastered. I've actually been thinking, I meant to do this video, well, I meant to do a video earlier. But it didn't end up happening. Because I got caught up in, running around doing stuff for, picking stuff up for the party that we just had, that I just came from. And my original idea was to actually issue sort of an apology to my reaction to Hollywood Rape. Because I've never explained what my actual beef with ism. But now, more than ever, I have a beef with him for the very same reason. He's claiming that Batman on Film attacked him. I listened to the radio show, and he calls his followers the true believers in Batman, the true Batman fans. He says that Batman on Film and their staff are kind of in their pocket. I've been following Batman on Film for a while now, ever since I found out that Cillian Murphy was playing Jonathan Crane. Sorry. Ever since I found out that Cillian Murphy is Jonathan Crane, and I found that out on Batman on Film, but by happenstance, I was just Googling stuff on Batman Begins. Actually, at the time, I don't think I knew that it was called Batman Begins. I was still under the impression it was called Batman Intimidation Game, which was Intimidation Game was the fake working title for the film. Whatever. The fact of the matter is, the reason that I have a beef with you, Hollywood Rape, is because you don't seem to get that everybody has their opinion on who their favorite Batman is. Is it Keaton? Is it Kilmer? Is it Clooney? Some people actually do like Clooney. I'm not one of those. I mean, as an actor, I love George Clooney, but as a Batman, I think Batman Robin was terrible. Adam West, is Conroy the definitive voice for Batman? Personally, as much as I love the guy, I prefer Bruce Greenwood, the guy that does the voice for him on Young Justice, and of course Under the Red Hood. I'm getting stuffed up. So yeah. Everybody has their opinions on that, but everybody also has their opinion on what Batman should be. Over the years, different people have defined him in different ways. Grant Morrison, in an interview, actually said that when he writes Batman, he writes him as a homosexual character. I forget the actual wording. He said that he's definitively gay, though. He felt the same way about a whole slew of other characters. Just another reason why I hate Grant Morrison. But I mean, everybody that's ever written for Batman had their own take on who Batman is, what he looks like, what car he drives. And you can see the broad appeal that Batman has from the way that he's portrayed in the comics, different television series, the different original animated movies, the films, be it the Burton film, Schumacher, or Nolan. They're all defined different ways. I mean, Keaton lived in this pure Tim Burton gothic world with characters that did not fit. Like, he's you love Burton, Hollywood, but you say that Michael Keaton is Batman, but what you also say is that Nolan bastardizes Batman, bastardizes the character. I'm not too big on the shape of the cowl that Christian Bale wears. It kind of seems off to me. every time I look at it, it just makes me shudder a little bit. Um, but that's Bruce Wayne. You know, that's that's year one. That's Frank Miller. That's Frank Miller's Bruce Wayne. That's Frank Miller's Batman. Did he have some things tweaked? Yes. But let's go back to Tim Burton. Tim Burton, you know, that's not Catwoman. Catwoman was supernatural. The look of her was terrible. As you mentioned, she's a secretary. Um, let's see. The Riddler. The Riddler was insane. I hated the way that they did the Riddler and Two-Face. You know, it was all. I don't want to say campy because if I mention campy, people will be like, "Oh, well, you know, the Adam West series was campy," but the Schumacher villains were beyond campy. I know that that's what he was going for. It was studio fare kind of thing, right? But it was also much better than what Tim Burton had in mind for a third movie. Oh God, it was much better. I don't know if you guys know too much about what Tim Burton was planning, but let me move on. Tim Burton changed everything. Gotham was in this really gothic place. It almost as if Tim Burton never read a single panel. You know, within Gotham City, he didn't read a single character. He knew that Penguin supposedly came from, you know, wealth. That seems to be it. But I like it. And to a certain extent, I also liked Batman Forever. And I like, you know, the Adam West movie, and I like the Adam West series. But everybody portrays him as something different. Batman with Adam West was this campy thing. Tim Burton turned him into a brooding goth guy. You know, that's who he was. Do I still like it? Absolutely. Then they tried to cheese it up and make it a little bit more kid friendly with Joel Schumacher. Then they got into Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan decided, and I don't see how you don't see this. You don't see that this is Batman. You don't see that this is, you know, it's not just from Frank Miller. No, if you look at Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, he borrows aspects from every generation of Batman or characters. You know, the way that they did Two-Face. That's Harvey Dent. I love Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent. They have a socialite Catwoman that just looks like Julie Newmar. You know, they borrow all these elements from the different generations of Batman on film. And as one of my subscribers mentioned, you know, in The Dark Knight, the mask that Joker wears is one of the masks that Joker wears, you know, in the Adam West series. He likes these throwbacks. Everything that Christopher Nolan does is pure fan service, and he pulls it off with excellence. And once again, you don't do anything to defend yourself. You know, I've mentioned time and time again that everybody gives credit. Everybody gives credit to Christopher Nolan. Marvel's Kevin Feige does. Robert Downey Jr. did. Tom Hiddleston did. You know, all those people involved with the Avengers and their you know, the related media will tell you that there was no way that that would have happened were it not for Dark Knight, and they have said that. Joel Schumacher himself, you know, he gave a kind of really candid interview about the exploitation of the studio, that he really had no control over what he was directing. And if you know Joel Schumacher and you've seen his movies, you can tell that he had no control over that. I mean, he did this really great adaptation of Phantom of the Opera. You know, he did Lost Boys. he was handpicked as a director for Lost Boys by Richard Donner, who was too busy at the time, so he appointed him as director. Michael Keaton said the same thing. Val Kilmer has mentioned that what Nolan's doing is absolutely amazing. So I still don't understand why you don't. Everybody has their opinion on what he should be. And if you look at it, we have Batman. We have Batman in the animated series, who's not animated series, the animated series of movies. He's portrayed differently in almost every one of them. The All Star series, he's shown in space. You have the really noir style from New Frontier. Then you can go to TV and you can look at the Batman. That's a radical take that I actually love for the most part. Brave and the Bold, which is really childish. There are all these different Batman, and there's no way that you can actually say that one Batman is more definitive than another. Sure, you can have your opinion on that, like I do. In my opinion, the Batman that Nolan's doing is the Batman. He's grounded. It's Gotham City that just happens to exist in our world. All the villains are down to earth. Like, I don't know what more you can ask. And once again, you've said that you want Frank Miller to do a rewrite, to do the reboot, to write it. If you like Frank Miller so much, then you will love Christopher Nolan's Batman on film. Just because it's not written by Tim Burton or Joss Whedon, I'm sorry, man, but it doesn't change the fact that this is a great series. The way that this is written by the whole team, Goyer did some great work. Chris himself, his production partner and wife Emma, and not to mention Jonathan Nolan, who, by the way, you can't say anything bad about Jonathan Nolan. If you've seen his collaboration with J.J. Abrams on Persons of Interest, which I'm actually going to do a cover on. I believe next Thursday is the finale, and I'm going to do a review of the series, because that series, the writing in it. Anyway, I'm coming up on the 13-minute mark. It's 4:30 in the morning. I should get going. I just wanted to tell you, Hollywood Rape, and the rest of you, you all have your own opinions. You all have your own opinions on who Batman is, what Batman should be, what he should do, what he shouldn't do. Don't attack Batman on film. They all have different opinions too. Bill himself has the same opinion as me, that he should be more grounded like he is in Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. You like the cheesier stuff, and you like the goth stuff. That's great, but Batman on film isn't attacking you. You're attacking everybody else that doesn't have the same opinions. Anyway, I think I'm going to do another video at some point tomorrow. And I still do have a podcast coming up. Due to unforeseen circumstances, though, I haven't been able to get it going. So I do apologize about that, but I'll make a video just telling you where it is again when I am done with it. My plan was to get it up and running Monday, but that, like the following month, or the previous Monday was just passed, but that didn't happen. My special guest, well, he's not special guest, wouldn't call him special. My roommate, who happens to be a Batman fanboy as much as me, who also actually he's having some doubts about Dark Knight Rises, and I was going to let him talk to you about his feelings on that, and we were going to have a sort of dialogue, a back and forth as to how we feel about that. So that's going to be coming up. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you again. Keep the likes coming, keep the comments coming, and Hollywood Rape, the floor is open to you if you want to defend yourself. You don't like it because you know you're wrong. Have a good one. Bye-bye.